shopgear.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
What's up, Rock Soldiers? This is Robbie Vegas back once again with another episode of All Bets Are Off. And today we're going to talk about the hot topic in wrestling. Just came out yesterday. We're recording this on Friday, so just came out yesterday was the Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Top 500. And this includes all the wrestlers in the world, independent wrestlers, big name companies, WWE, Impact, AEW, New Japan, whatever you can think of, they're all included here. I have a special guest with me today that's going to be going over this with me, and I will get to that in just a second. But before I do, I need you guys to remember to support the people that support us. So our first sponsor that we're going to talk about today, Unchained Muscle, unchainedmuscle.uk. This is the place you need to be for all your workout needs. I'm talking shaker bottles, gym bags, shorts, leggings, hats, t-shirts, tank tops. We got men's, we got women's. If you go to their website and go to the mental health charity section, whatever you purchase, they will make a donation to mental health charity. So make sure you check that out and support the people that keep us going. So now we're going to dive into Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Top 500. We're mainly going to focus on the top 10 today and maybe give a few shout outs to some of the good brothers that we know who made it this year. And my guest today is my former tag team partner, Mr. Markus Midnight. Thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me and having me on your podcast.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. A little nervous, but excited to be first time on a podcast.
This is your first podcast ever?
Yeah.
All right,
so I'm excited.
Well, let's do this thing. Yeah. So let me pull up the list here.
I got the 1 through 10.
Let's start at
100, but
yeah.
I'm going to say, do you want to start at 1 or do you want to go down from 10?
I say we start at 10. Let's do the top 10 countdown.
Okay.
So you want to introduce the first person here?
Okay, number 10 is Will Ospreay.
So I'm a fan of Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
He's got a great name going for himself. Did just listen to him on the Edge and Christian podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was really good.
He's young, too.
Yeah.
He's only, I believe, 26.
I think he is.
26.
Let's do a quick fact check while we're here. Yeah, right. Let's do a quick check and see. He is 26.
Yeah.
And he broke the top 10.
Yeah, he's making waves. Here's an interesting, I got a question. Do you think he is going to continue servicing the indies and, he was in New Japan, right?
Yeah, New Japan.
He's still there, I believe, yeah. Do you think if he had the opportunity, would he go to WWE?
I wonder that, and I'm honestly not sure because he's doing so well for himself. And I know there was Frontline Wrestling, which he was starting, which is his own promotion.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure if he would go to WWE. I would like to,
because he's kind of like that. I wouldn't say new because Kenny Omega's still surfacing around. Obviously, he created his own name.
He did.
Everybody in the wrestling business knows Will Ospreay. He's phenomenal at what he does.
Yeah.
I think if he was given the opportunity, he should go to WWE.
I think he should too. Yeah. Whether or not he will, I'm not sure. Yeah. I do know that in 2019 he was in the Best of the Super Juniors, and he did win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship again.
Yeah.
So he's having a great year. He did get awarded by Dave Meltzer a 5.5 star match, which is rare.
Yeah.
We won't get into my opinion on the star rating of matches.
Yeah.
Again, listeners, these are just our opinions. But he is really good, and I would like to see him in WWE because there's a lot of guys there. I think
there's a lot of guys. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen a little taste of him and Ricochet before.
Yes.
So that would just be insane. But
I do know too that earlier this year, not too long ago, actually, he got into a little heated debate with Seth Rollins on Twitter.
Oh, that's right. That is right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, about whose company was on top.
Superior, yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
everybody should say
to have, you know what I mean?
Yes. Healthy competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you agree that everybody should think that whoever they work for is the top company?
I was just going to say that if you're working for a company, you should think of that company as the best. You know what I mean? At that point, you know what I mean? Obviously, there's more opportunity out there, but you're representing that company. So claim that to be the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And why wouldn't you want to be champion of the top company?
Exactly.
You know? So I thought that was a pretty cool little heated debate to see.
It was definitely I'm not on Twitter, so I don't see much of that stuff. But
I do believe that both men did end up apologizing to each other publicly on Twitter.
Yeah,
healthy competition. That's
cool. I like to see that.
Who do we got at number 9?
We have, correct me if I'm wrong with this pronunciation, but number 9 is Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay, another, obviously we know another huge name. He is an 8-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion,
wow.
Yes. Broke his own record because he was the top holder anyway. And
as he continues to
and then won it again, of course. So that's a cool little fun fact on him. I try to keep up with New Japan. It is tough because I watch so much wrestling.
There's just so much at this point, it's definitely tough to keep up on all of it.
Yeah. And of course, to become IWGP champion for the 8th time, he did beat Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
At Wrestle Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So, that's a huge win at, of course, their version of WrestleMania, which now is probably becoming just as popular.
I was just going to say, they've had obviously Jericho for the last, 2 years now?
I think so, yeah.
So they're getting major names to go over there, know.
And arguably, until AEW announced their company, I think that New Japan was definitely the number 2.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
We'll see what AEW does. I don't want to get too far into digging into who's got the best company right now because AEW is just getting started.
They're just getting started, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, but very cool that he was able to break his own record. And against somebody like Kenny Omega.
Right.
Omega is no slouch, man.
Not at all.
This dude is just insanely good.
Well, that's the reason why he's at number 8.
And there we go. It's a good segue. Never done a podcast before. You just did your first segue.
I listened to quite a few of them.
right. So Kenny Omega's ranked number 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take this one because I know Jericho's like your guy.
Jericho's
obviously this is a thing.
Yeah. And they've been doing this now for the last couple of years. And to me, I love what Jericho has done. I almost think, I'm not going to say he has made Kenny Omega. He did not make Kenny Omega. But I do think that he made Kenny Omega's name that much bigger. Mm-hmm. And I love the whole Alpha versus Omega. Yeah. I thought that was such a cool headliner. Again, I'm not crediting just Jericho in this. Obviously, Kenny Omega is a plus, superstar in the wrestling, business. So,
would you say that Omega maybe even breathed new life into Jericho?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think, as much as it pains me to see him away from WWE, it's cool to see Jericho reinvent himself and to do it with a guy like Kenny Omega. And that match at Wrestle Kingdom was unbelievable. The heat was there, the aggression was there. Mm-hmm. They beat the hell out of each other. Like, it was a fun wrestling match to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that he was also signed to New Japan. His contract ran out in January, which is why in February he signed with All Elite Wrestling.
Yep.
And, of course, that brought the resurgence of his feud with Jericho. Yeah. They were the main event
of that. Which is cool to see in 2 different companies now.
Yeah. Which was also a great match.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I was just going to ask if you saw that.
Yeah. Jericho, I see it.
yeah, true. And, of course, they did the 6-man tag as well at, I think it was called Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah, it was just...
where he teamed with the Young Bucks. Yeah. So it was the Elite versus the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid, which, it was at Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
Great match.
Yeah.
Omega's always great.
He's phenomenal.
He secures the win in that match for his team.
Right.
I believe they had a rematch in AAA. Again, their version of WrestleMania. They did Triple Mania. And I think that rematch happened there where the Elite did lose that one. Yeah. But I think he's newly working with AAA because they have some kind of relationship with All Elite, obviously. Yeah. We saw Pentagon and Phoenix, so of course they do.
Right. But no, Kenny Omega, he's a star in his own right. Absolutely. Yeah. Wherever he goes, he will be one of the top guys in that company.
Yeah, for
hands
sure.
down.
For sure. And he did sign a 4-year contract with All Elite.
Oh, did he really?
So that's a long time.
That is a long time.
Especially for a guy who is so sought after. Like, that kind of shows me that maybe he potentially doesn't really care to go to WWE.
Yeah, I think he actually had the opportunity, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, probably a few times. Because he was in their developmental at one point in Deep South.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago. There was no NXT.
Right.
But yeah.
I don't think he needs to go.
I don't either.
eat
I don't
at
either.
all.
And I'm not trying to say that the WWE has to be everybody's goal and it's the be-all, end-all, especially now.
I was just going to say, this time in wrestling, you don't have to be in WWE to become a major wrestler. You don't have to do it anymore.
You go into Hot Topic. What do you see? Kenny Omega t-shirts.
Young Bucks. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's so many outlets of pro wrestling now, and that's the cool thing about it too, especially as a fan.
Yeah.
Like, the content is ridiculous.
Right.
It absolutely is.
Right.
You know?
And you have the look on it of a fan and a wrestler standpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you don't actively wrestle currently, but you were.
But I was.
And, you have that look of, okay, I've done this, and like you have that training and the travel
I know,
and
kind
all
of
that.
the in between.
Right.
And
But
now
then
it's the
also,
business.
you're a fan again.
Yeah.
Because now you're not actively wrestling, but you are always watching.
And I'm always watching. I'm always trying to keep up because, like we keep saying it, there's so much out right now that it is very difficult. Even with social media surfacing and stuff, it's hard to stop everything that you're doing and watch 3 hours of Raw, and then once AEW's on Wednesdays, then you got NXT, then you got New Japan, Ring of Honor, even Impact. Like, there's just so much stuff to watch, and it's difficult to really tune into all of it.
For sure. And, shout out to Chaz, who's been on past episodes. He always says Ring of Honor is the easiest to watch because it's on for an hour.
That's true.
That's true, if you have an hour to spare, you can catch up with Ring of Honor.
Just put it on, and you're going to watch good wrestling, too.
Yeah, which, of course, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, all these guys we're talking about, that's where we got to know them, really, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
And, of course, Omega defeated Okada to win his IWGP Heavyweight Championship, which I believe Okada is...
He is at... Well, we're not going to get to him just yet. He's at number 5.
He's at number 5. Yeah. Okay, we'll get
Spoiler.
there. Spoiler alert, people. We jumped the gun.
Yeah.
So let's move on from Kenny Omega, because I'll talk about him this whole podcast, because I am a huge fan of Kenny Omega.
Yeah, he's great.
I did just want to make that point. Like, we're not saying he has to or he should go to WWE. I'm just surprised that he signed a 4-year deal and kind of...
I think he's putting a lot of trust in AEW.
For sure. For sure.
They obviously have trust in him as well.
Right. And you got to think, Kenny's 35. So when he is done with this contract, he's 39 years old. Normally, I'd say there's no way he's going to WWE at this point.
Right.
Maybe his chances might be a little slimmer, maybe not. But they also signed AJ Styles when he was around that
I was going to say,
So,
and
it's not out of the question.
No.
I only say that because...
Never say never in pro wrestling.
And there's dream matches I'd like to see, which is why I bring that up.
Right.
Because maybe some guys won't go to AEW.
Especially as a fan.
Right.
It's awesome to see that.
Exactly. So who do we got at...
Number 7 is the big dog, Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
as you know,
I like this.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Roman Reigns. I've always been a fan of Roman Reigns. I think he was the second best in the Shield.
Second to
Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. So Roman had a rough go there for a little bit during this time period.
Yeah.
But happy to say he bounced back.
I'm very much happy. I think a lot of people, as a fan, when you're watching professional wrestling, he's got to do flips, and he's got to do this, and he's got to be great on the microphone. Roman Reigns is who Roman Reigns is.
Yeah.
He is a powerhouse. He's going to hit you in your mouth. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he's great from start to finish of a match.
I agree. I think he's a storyteller.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of wrestling I like. And I'm not discrediting people who just do a lot of acrobatics.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But you got to have a place on the card for guys like Roman.
Yeah. He's a money draw. He's a big money draw.
Yeah, for sure. He was getting booed for a little bit.
And for a few years, actually.
Which to me was a shame.
It was.
The guy can work. He's one of the best.
Him, I believe it was at, I don't want to get the pay-per-view wrong, but I think it was Royal Rumble with him versus Styles.
I can't really remember, to be honest with you, but that was a great match.
The match was incredible. I can't remember exactly which pay-per-view it was, but the match was insane. Yeah. And obviously Styles, but but Roman Reigns carried his own. Anytime he's in a match, he's carrying his own.
I agree. And just to make it clear, we're not specifically talking about 2019 right now. We're just talking about Roman Reigns in general. Because I know he faced Daniel Bryan at Fastlane pay-per-view, and that was an awesome match.
Yeah.
And all these guys will credit Roman for being so good.
Right.
But the fans just weren't taken to it they wanted who they wanted. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he obviously had leukemia and came back and
came back. I mean, better than ever.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah,
very. But he's been on fire.
Very quick. Yeah, I'm the feud with him and Brock Lesnar was very entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Obviously, you have two monster human beings colliding, so you're just going to get that pure aggression, I think. Obviously with Brock Lesnar, but Roman Reigns brought the heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the WrestleMania matches, I would never want to be in a wrestling match with Brock Lesnar. And it almost seemed like Roman Reigns was like inviting him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like he was like, when Lesnar would give him like a bunch of German suplexes, like Roman would start laughing in the match.
Yeah,
I remember a couple of the matches like that. I think Roman has something to him, and a lot of people do the comparison. Oh, he's The Rock's cousin, like he's not The Rock,
right?
He's
but
not.
He does have his own natural charisma.
He does.
I think if you just listen to the guy just talk,
Instead
you're drawn to him. You want to hear him. You know?
Exactly.
I don't want to hear him say anything scripted. I'd like him to just talk.
You can tell, I think, with Roman where if it's scripted or not, or if he's just kind of going.
Yeah,
and he's great at it. He's actually really good at it. You know, but
and he's in great shape.
He's in great shape. You know, great athlete for a bigger guy too.
He had that feud with Strowman. That was really cool.
That was intense.
I mean, the guy's done a lot of stuff, and he's done it all well.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you boot him then, you're cheering him now. Respect him.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
he's very good. And of course, while he was out, he did Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where he threw the whatever it's called.
He took out the cameraman.
Yeah.
Great story, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I absolutely love Roman Reigns.
He's another one to me, like Kenny Omega, where I can keep talking about him.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
He's good. Mm-hmm. They're two different styles for sure.
Yeah, they're totally different.
Yeah,
but in their own right, they're just major stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's an honor to step in the ring with either of those guys.
Yeah.
No matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, enough about Roman because I won't stop. You won't stop. We're both Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I like Roman.
And I've always been. This is not a bandwagon thing.
No, not at all. I was definitely not one of those people booing him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted him to succeed, and you know he's obviously doing it.
Oh, for sure. The first time I saw the Shield, I said that's the start.
Yeah.
You know, not that I didn't care for
Rollins
but number 6. We're going with who's number 6?
Johnny Gargano.
I like this, but I'm going to let you start this one.
Okay, so Johnny Gargano, he is fantastic at what he does.
Yeah,
he's fantastic. The feud with him and Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, I was drawn into that so heavily. It literally, they hated each other on screen.
Yeah.
And like bringing like the whole, his wife into it. I forget her name.
Johnny's wife.
Yeah,
Candice.
Yeah. Candice LeRae. Mm-hmm. It brought such realism to a professional wrestling storyline, which we don't get a lot of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And man, the realism in the matches, they tore the house down.
Oh, for sure.
Like
for sure.
ripping the cushion up on the outside, like everything was just brutal.
And Ciampa, he may be the last of the real heels.
And he got legit heat.
Yeah, and he was believable.
Heat. Yeah,
and everything he did was just, I don't know, it was just on a whole nother level, which gave Gargano the platform he needed to be that insanely white meat babyface.
Yeah, and that was another good thing too that they did was they created such a villainous character and such a major, hero character, and that was the one thing that, because we don't get that often where you actually get a heel that we hate,
for sure.
Sure. Ciampa did a fantastic job at doing that. He's actually at number 13.
And if he wasn't injured, I think he would have a strong running to probably even be higher than Gargano. Not to bring any heat to the podcast. Of course, you guys can feel free to tell us what you think after you hear this. But I think that there would be no Gargano without Ciampa. They kind of made each other.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, doing the tag team,
DIY.
Into their heavily feuded
rivalry.
So,
and that was a rivalry I looked forward to. No matter how many times they faced off, or there was run-ins or backstage segments, it was exciting.
It was fresh. It was new too. Every time they had something, it was
And of course, if you want to get more recent with Gargano, his feud with Adam Cole. It's up there. Yeah. It's up there as one of the best. Those matches have been insane.
Are nuts. Yeah.
And Adam Cole is so good.
He's very good.
And I'm not trying to steal the spotlight from Gargano. I keep talking about how good his opponents are, but everybody's so good.
But that's the thing. Like, you're in a match with Gargano. He's credited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is that good.
Yeah.
The one thing I disagree with Gargano, and this is just I think the wrestling business that we live in now is. There's a lot of over-the-top maneuvers, and you know what I mean. Like if you take
they kick out of everything. Is that what you mean?
You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just a little bit overdone.
Yeah, it can.
But it's obviously entertaining to watch.
Yeah,
It's fun to watch and stuff. But to me, it's a little bit overdone.
Yeah, and I totally agree. It can be. There's moments where you're like, okay,
Should be dead.
Yeah. We're getting a little out of control.
Yeah.
Especially for the fans that complained for so many years that John Cena was superhuman.
Exactly.
You can't claim that John Cena's superhuman. He wasn't kicking out of things that were half as deadly as this.
Yeah. And look at Cena compared to Gargano. You know what I mean? Like, Cena's a monster. So
Gargano is a freak of an athlete.
Yeah, he's incredible.
I love his moveset.
Yeah.
His fire when he fires up.
I actually really dig his song too.
Yeah.
I really like his song.
He did a little, some heel stuff in there.
Yeah.
And he was good at that too.
Mm-hmm. And I actually really enjoy Gargano's his attire.
Yeah,
he does a lot of the comic book stuff, and I'm a huge comic book nerd. Yeah. So he did like the Iron Man one. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I definitely popped heavily for that one.
Yeah,
I was a mark that day.
We all are.
Yeah, we all are.
People who go out and become wrestlers are the biggest marks. That's why we become wrestlers.
Exactly.
Your markdom reached a new level, and you just had to do it. But I got to say though, Gargano is probably one of the best. I don't even want to call him an up and comer because he's been around for so long. But as far as somebody who's just on the NXT brand, which now I'd say that they're kind of on the same level as Raw and SmackDown because they have their own weekly show.
Well, I'm going to just bring this up. I want to say Gargano. I want to say he's the heart and soul of NXT
for sure.
Right now,
for sure. I actually wondered if they called him up to the main roster, how NXT would be affected by that.
Yeah,
because he's so reason.
Yeah, he's the heartbeat right now. Just real quick, what do you think about NXT coming over to USA Network?
Okay, so I was going to save this for after, but we'll do it right now.
I'm sorry.
Nope, let's do it because we just went on a whole rant about how they, have this. It's definitely cool for the competition of AEW.
Yeah, being on Wednesday nights.
But I do think that it puts NXT now on the same level as Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's a farm league anymore. I don't feel like it's the minor leagues or the third, it is the third brand, I should say.
Developmental or something.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like developmental.
No,
I feel like now developmental is stuff that you don't see on television.
Right.
Which will be behind the scenes stuff that we'll never know. But right now with Raw and SmackDown and NXT being on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on TV, on actual cable, it's going to have more eyes on it.
Right.
Because I don't care what you say. Yes, a lot of people have the WWE Network, but more people are watching it on cable.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't watch NXT on the WWE Network. And I can say that because I try to talk to people about NXT and they don't watch it.
And they don't watch it.
Yeah. Or if they do, they only watch TakeOver.
Yeah.
Now they're going to watch the weekly programs. They'll DVR it.
And now is it staying an hour or is it 2 hours?
I think it's going to be 2.
Okay.
Sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background, people. Yeah, it was just an hour, but I think it's going to be 2.
Okay.
I think it's healthy and good competition for the NXT brand.
Yeah.
And I also think it's healthy and good competition for All Elite because all these fans that are looking forward to All Elite and love it already. There are a lot of the same fans that live and die by NXT and think that NXT is the best brand of WWE. Now you're giving them a choice.
Exactly.
Which one are you going to watch?
Yep.
You have NXT, who's pretty proven at this point.
Yeah.
AEW is just getting started. Not saying that they're not proving themselves because they're doing a great job.
Because they have so many guys that have already proven themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not at this point. It just needs to get going.
We don't know what their TV show is going to be like. We don't know what it's going to look like.
Nope.
We don't know how it's going to run. So right now, it's what are you going to watch? And NXT starts first. So they're going to have that foot in the door a few weeks in advance.
Mm-hmm. So. And they have so many guys, like, Gargano and, Ciampa once he returns.
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream.
Yes. Who, of course, we know very well.
Yes, that's like the name of it. I think he is remarkable.
Velveteen?
Yeah. I mean, he is so good.
He is. And I even remember in the match that we had against him, at that point, you were in really good shape.
Yeah.
And obviously, you were the bigger one of the two of us. Mm-hmm. And he threw you around.
He threw me around.
Like you didn't even exist.
He was taller than I was. He was bigger, strong. He was a monster. He was a force, And I remember actually, I think Leo Rush actually just posted on his Instagram the Name the Wrestler thing.
Yeah, and we were the opponents. So go through, people who are listening, go check out Leo Rush's Instagram, and there is a clip of myself and Markus Midnight facing Leo Rush in Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, and Velveteen Dream takes my head off.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he turned you inside out by force.
Yes.
And he jumped up to the top rope while you were up there and threw you.
Launched me across the entire ring, so that was fun. So thanks a lot.
Velveteen, if you're listening, he still hurts. Are you looking forward to that competition as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I've actually been telling myself where I want to start getting into it. I've kind of fallen off of watching wrestling just because I have like no time. And when I do, it's just like, I don't feel like sitting down on my couch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I've been telling myself where I want to at least watch an hour of this, an hour of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like dibble and dabble. But
how do you usually keep up? You watch like clips or?
Most of the time it's Instagram. I'll watch the highlights for WWE.
And of course we always get together for the pay-per-views. And
the pay-per-views and
keep
stuff.
up for the big stuff.
Yep, yeah. But, or like Ringside News, I'll jump on that, their Instagram stories or even their app. I'll tune into, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump back into the list here.
Yeah.
We got number 5.
Number 5 is Okada.
Okay, so Okada, I don't know if it gets, as far as New Japan goes, I don't know if it gets much better than that.
No, I agree.
He was the longest reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion in history.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge in itself. And again, we're not going to limit this talk to just what they've done this year. We're just talking about these guys in general.
Just in general, yeah.
Of course, we know he lost it to Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And his championship reign was 720 days.
Was it that long?
Yeah. That's insane to me.
That's a lot. Yeah, that is insane.
And to keep people interested for that long is like...
Is very good.
Yeah, when was the last time we may have seen something like that in the WWE, like the Hogan days?
I mean, that long, yeah.
Yeah. Which is impressive.
Obviously, Punk had the 434.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 700 days.
Yeah. And Punk kept people interested, too.
Yeah.
720 days.
That is nuts.
Yeah. To me, that's just mind-blowing, regardless of when it happened or where it happened. And of course,
it doesn't matter what stage. I mean, you're a champion, a top champion for 2 years,
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, he also won, and I believe this falls in this time period for the top 500, is he won the New Japan Cup for the second time.
Yep.
And he did win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship again. And one of his title defenses, his second title defense, was against Chris Jericho.
Oh. Yeah.
And he did beat Jericho. I know it probably hurts your feelings to know that Jericho's... Yeah. I mean, he beat Omega at AEW.
Yeah. I accept it. Jericho's done what he can do.
But yeah, I mean, Okada's the man.
He's the man there. Absolutely.
And just for a quick fact check, I just want to see his age here. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, who knows his age?
31.
So he's fairly young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, we know that he's worked with Ring of Honor as well, and also TNA. So his career has been
around. Yeah. He's definitely been elevated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think number 5 is a great spot for him. Personally, maybe I would have even moved it up, but that's just me.
You can make an argument.
That's just me being nitpicky, just my opinion. Again, anybody who wants to give us your opinions, feel free to interact with us on the brand new All Bets Are Off Twitter. I just created it, so we don't have a whole lot of followers going at the moment. So jump on, follow us, and give us your thoughts and opinions on this episode when you hear it. And do you want to lead us into number 4?
Number 4 is Kofi Kingston, the WWE Champion.
This is huge. This might be another one that I would have moved up.
This one's huge.
Yeah. And I know that's being nitpicky, too, because number 4 is a high spot.
Yeah.
Probably the highest Kofi's had in a long time.
Ever, maybe?
Probably ever, yeah. Kofi Mania.
Yeah, Kofi Mania, took off. Obviously, the New Day is incredible, but I am so glad that Kofi Kingston has became WWE champion.
Oh, for sure. And the length of the matches he was having to get there, an hour,
was ridiculous.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. But Kofi, to me, was that guy. When I was growing up, he was the tag team, the mid-card, United States and Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
And he was a credible champion there.
And that was right in your age range of growing up. How old were you about?
So when he came, it was like, what, 08?
Yeah, I think so.
So I was
somewhere around there.
10, 11 years. I was about 14.
So you were right in the prime of like when a kid gets that real big itch for wrestling.
Of wrestling, yeah. Exactly.
How many years are between us?
How old are you?
32.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm 25.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
something about I mean,
because when he debuted, right,
absolutely.
Because when he debuted, I was going into my 20s.
Yeah,
and I thought he was great.
Yeah, no, he's always been incredible.
You know how when you hit that certain age and you're watching wrestling, you start to hate all the newer guys because all your guys are leaving.
Not the old guys anymore.
Yeah. But I always liked Kofi, so he was right in your bracket of like when you were like impressionable.
Exactly. But like I said, Kofi was always very fun to watch. Doing his the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. That's fun to watch. But he was so much more than that for a very long time.
For sure.
And obviously they finally gave him a run, and like I said, Kofi Mania really took off. And
it did. Not that he even had anything to prove, but he proved it anyway.
Yeah, he proved it anyways. And I don't care if he became champion so late in his career. To me, it doesn't matter. He is WWE champion.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was cool that they just finished. I don't know if the feud is technically finished, but with Randy Orton, because they started.
I believe it's still going.
It's not technically finished, but they started that feud back when I was like 22.
Well, again, so
yeah.
And even that was like. It was a cool time, too, because Randy Orton being a top star at that time, and Kofi was the mid-card guy, and he's getting this opportunity to go against, Randy Orton. That's huge.
Yeah.
Orton
was doing the legacy thing at first. So that tells you how long ago that feud really started.
Exactly.
I felt like it never ended, so this is cool.
It's cool to see it back, almost 10 or 11 years later.
Yeah.
As now the roles have changed. Now we're like, I would say changed, but Kofi's now the champion, and Randy Orton now is the guy chasing the title.
Absolutely, and I think again, just being nitpicky, I think that Kofi should be moved up in this list. Yes, number 4 is amazing for sure. But I honestly think that with the year he had and how big this was, and it was a shock.
Yeah,
it came out of nowhere. There was almost no build-up.
No,
he got thrown in and wrestled for over an hour, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey man, you're main eventing WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You're winning the title on the biggest show ever after 12 years or whatever it was with this company.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that's a 1 or 2 spot.
I was going to say, I put him at 2.
You might be biased to number 1.
Yeah. But I was even going to say, like, you could probably put him at number 1 because of the journey that he kind of went through in his entire career.
Yeah. And it was so organic that you can't deny it wasn't built by a machine. No. It just happened.
It just happened, to a great wrestler in Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Great athlete, too.
So who do we got next?
Number 3 is AJ Styles.
I'll let you start this one.
So AJ Styles, he was, I believe, a year ago, I would assume around this time, he was still WWE champion. Because
everything's such a blur to me in wrestling. That I will tell you something happened last year, and it was 3 years ago.
Yeah. You're talking still about Shawn Michaels and stuff.
Yeah, right. Like, no, that was Shawn at WrestleMania
12. But I think AJ Styles, within this past year, he was still WWE champion, and he held that title for a long time.
He did,
and it wasn't like he was kind of like pushed on the back burners, or he was having great matches with anybody that he was wrestling. For sure. So I think number 3 spot is good because I think when they were probably making this list, he was
on top.
He was on top.
And of course, the United States title run, and he reformed the Bullet Club again.
Yeah, the OC is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like him as heels.
Which I really, really enjoy the OC right now. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
Because they kind of did that a couple years ago when they were kicking the hell out of John Cena.
Yeah.
But that just seemed like it was forced. Yeah. Now it seemed like it was, again, organic. And they're doing really well with these storylines now.
Yeah, and I do like the side of Ricochet that AJ brings out.
Yeah.
It gives Ricochet an edge, and he's not just a cookie cutter acrobat for the kids.
The kids to watch,
and that's not a shot at Ricochet because I love Ricochet.
He's fantastic too.
He's one of my favorites. I love
that match with Styles and Ricochet as well.
Yeah, for sure. He's one of my favorites. And that wasn't a shot at him. It was just that he's that awesomely just I'm a good guy and I smile and I laugh and whatever.
He doesn't do it like forcefully.
Right.
It's just organic for him to just be that.
But then he gets in there with AJ and that backstage segment where he slaps AJ back. It shows he's got an edge. He's got that side to him. He's not just I'm going to laugh and just be like, hey, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
He is a wrestler and he will slap you and he will take you out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is cool to see. And of course, Ricochet, been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Was a part of Lucha Underground as Prince Puma.
Prince Puma, yep.
And it's just cool to see him in the WWE now doing his thing. He had great matches in
I was
NXT too.
just going to say that. In NXT, he was fantastic. And nothing, I don't think, has slowed down since the transition to
Yeah, I agree.
WWE.
I agree.
You know?
And AJ Styles, he came into WWE at what, like 38, 39 years old?
Yeah. Debuted at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. And
Which was massive.
Yeah, and that shows people too. Like, it's not too late. Like, times have changed. Mm-hmm. But obviously, AJ was a big star to begin with because everywhere he went, he was on top.
He was the champion.
Yeah. But that's not to say that it's not possible for anybody else. Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Number 2 is Daniel Bryan.
Well, his feud with Kofi, obviously.
Yeah.
I just think that's a spot better suited for Kofi.
For Kofi. And that's the reason why I wanted to say Kofi should have been number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, again, the feud Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston, it was a Kofi Kingston story.
It was.
And Daniel Bryan had his story at WrestleMania 30. That was Daniel Bryan's story.
Yeah. That was Yeselmania.
That was Yeselmania.
Yeah.
Now we went to Kofi Mania. And then when are we going to get KO Mania? No chance like that. But Daniel, I think, and he was the champion. But I think number 2 is a little bit too high for him.
I do too, and that's why I was saying too that Kofi should be higher.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, he was a part of those moments.
He was a part of those moments, and I'm not saying like Kofi Kingston he was the only reason why that story was good. Yeah. But again, it was just Kofi Kingston's story.
And Bryan was a good heel.
Yeah.
I liked the whole the world's champion. And,
I actually I really enjoyed the
title.
Title. Yeah. Because I like when people do that. The
different
Smoking
stuff,
Skull. Even Cena's at the time was cool.
The Rated R title.
Yeah, the Rated R title edges, that was really cool. But like Daniel Bryan's, I think it was so unique with the gems and the wood. Like I thought that was really cool, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's actually selling for like $300 on
Yes, it really.
WWEshop.com. Like, I can go make this.
Right.
But,
and I mean, he did a good job. The heel turn was cool because I do think he was getting stale as a face, and I don't think people were as behind him. They were really behind him, and then he was forced to retire, and then all of a sudden he can come back, and I don't think he had the same steam. And it was exciting briefly, but then it was kind of like, okay, nothing's changed.
Because I think people moved on to like the Rollins and guys like that.
Which is fine. It happens.
It's fine,
and I do like him in the tag team.
Yeah.
I think that's a great spot for him currently.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, he went from, heavyweight champion to tag team champion.
Yeah.
And
I think at
that's
this
cool.
point, too, in his career, with obviously his injuries and stuff, I think he's okay with where he's placed. I think he's very happy now that he's just wrestling again.
Yeah, and I like the angle
because he's always been
currently.
like that. Yeah.
Him and Rowan, with him kind of being in control of the bigger guy, and the whole thing with Reigns being attacked and Rowan being blamed, and Bryan trying to, no, I had no idea. Like he does that role well.
He's doing,
and I feel like he's building somebody else in the process because I feel like Rowan.
I like Rowan.
I do too.
I
feel like he's better than he's ever been.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because he's with Daniel Bryan.
Could be.
Who can say? But so again, 2, cool. He should definitely be in the top 10.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be number 2.
Right. Exactly.
But now we can do number 1 because you're probably itching for this.
I'm itching.
So
Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Wow.
I mean, what a year he's had.
Yeah.
Honestly, actually, what a build up from his previous injury with his knee.
For sure.
From a couple of years ago, and
then being afraid that he almost injured it again with that spot with Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was a trust issue. I don't know. I want to say trust issue, but I don't think WWE wanted to put their full investment in him again. For him
in case he got hurt again.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
Because we've seen that happen, in years past.
Yeah.
But Rollins is crisp.
He is.
I mean,
he really is.
And I don't want to sound like it's such like a dulled word. Seth Rollins is so freaking good.
He is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. As you know, because you're in the same boat, we do agree on a lot of these things. But Rollins is my top right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody's
There's
better.
nobody better. Nobody better than Seth Rollins.
Yeah, regardless of how you feel about him, because some people talk about his personal life and things that he's done or said in the past. All that aside, just think of his wrestling career and how he is in the ring.
He is so good.
He is.
Yeah.
He's excellent. He's probably the best thing going right now.
And I like. I've always been like that Jericho and Edge type guy, and for some reason I see Seth Rollins in those guys.
I see a mix of people when I see Seth Rollins.
Yeah, because it's so weird too, because he's got this incredible strength.
He does.
He's a very strong dude.
Yeah, not bad for a CrossFit guy.
Yeah. CrossFit Jesus.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like he's extremely strong. He's extremely flexible and athletic and stuff. He's just so fun to watch. I think his arsenal moves are really good. I'm not a major fan of the blackout, the curb stomp.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
I don't know what he calls it at the moment. I know it was the blackout when he was Tyler Black.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just the stomp.
I like the way that he delivers it.
I think it'd be cool
Man,
to
what a
use
super
it.
kick too.
Yeah.
Like his super kick when he does
I feel
the
it's-
opponent. Yeah, I know. But when the opponent's on the knee,
Yeah.
and he does the super kick,
It's cool and it's different.
It is, and he just lands it.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to have a big love fest about Seth Rollins, but I kind of am.
Well, yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah,
I think you really do. I think Rollins is their face right now of that company.
He has to be.
You
I will say this though, just to throw that out there, I wouldn't have been surprised if Kofi was number one over Rollins, because Kofi Mania, again, blindsided, organic, came out of nowhere and was the biggest thing, the biggest pop, the big,
of the WrestleMania.
And I understand that the same night Rollins beat Lesnar in the opening match, which is huge,
which was huge,
especially for a guy Rollins' size.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think Kofi had the story in the crowd more than Rollins did.
I completely agree with you.
And that's not a shot at Rollins.
No.
That was a hard thing to be better than.
Yeah.
Kofi Mania was legit taking over.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. So I may have personally said that Kofi was one and Rollins was two.
I could 100% agree with you.
Yeah. And that's not, Rollins has been to the top before. Rollins has been the guy.
Yeah.
This was Kofi's first one. So I think it was a bigger deal. And like we said, the way that it happened.
And that's the thing, I think it was a bigger deal for Kofi to be WWE champion than Seth Rollins to become Universal champion.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
I mean, like you said, I think you could have flip-flopped, I think, Rollins and Kofi, one or two.
Rollins is still having a great year.
Yeah.
Beat Lesnar twice.
He beat Lesnar twice.
A lot of guys can't say that.
No, I think the list is honestly him, Goldberg, and
I couldn't even tell you.
I don't know anybody else that beat Lesnar twice.
I can't even think back to Lesnar's early career anymore because to me he seems like such a different guy now.
He's totally different.
Not that he wasn't super unstoppable before, but this is a whole new level.
Yeah, he's just a different Brock Lesnar now.
And anybody who says that Lesnar's not good for business, I'm going to disagree with you because you watch to see who's going to beat him.
Well, that's the thing. Lesnar, I got to a point where I accepted the fact that I understand why they keep bringing him in and why they keep putting the title on him.
Right.
He is a huge money draw.
And you know what? They got me. I'm not going to lie because I hated it. And I hated him. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm watching these pay-per-views because I'm waiting for him to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I was like, they got me. Mm-hmm. They sucked me in like I was just a common fan.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And we always think we know it.
Yeah, I know, right? But, I do like to see Seth Rollins on top.
Yeah.
And congratulations to him and Becky Lynch for being engaged.
Yep.
That doesn't play into why he's number one.
No. He's also tag team champions now with Braun Strowman.
Yeah, and that's huge.
Which is, And I think, again, too, like Strowman, I don't know where he is on this list. He kind of got lost.
Yeah, I mean...
he's at 27. He kind of got lost within this last year, I think.
He did, only because I think he had an injury. He had surgery on his elbow.
Elbow, right.
And then the matches he was having were quick squashes. Not to say that he wasn't good.
Right.
But
because I think, he might be one of the best big men.
Yeah.
Big men in wrestling.
Ever.
What he does is incredible. And I think he also, get these hands catchphrase is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The flipping the trucks.
Flipping the truck, like the feet is
strong man
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love Strowman, and to have him, I don't know where they're going to go with Rollins and Strowman, but I think it can only be good. It can only be good television. You know.
Absolutely. And I like what they're doing with Strowman and Rollins both being faces. They win the tag straps. However, Strowman still wants the Universal title.
Strowman still wants that match with them,
And we've seen stuff like that before.
Yeah.
Sean and John Cena did that.
Yeah.
And it's a cool
Cena
story.
did it a couple times, actually.
I think he did too. Matt Hardy and MVP did it over the United States title.
I believe that anniversary was just yesterday.
Was it really?
I think so.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wrestling Encyclopedia.
Yeah. Thank Instagram.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's cool, and that just shows that Rollins is not slowing down.
Right.
He's a double champion right now.
Yeah.
The hot streak carrying over into the next year of PWI Top 500.
Yeah.
Because we know it goes from I don't know if it's June to June or August to August.
Yeah. 1 month.
But it's not like a calendar year.
Yeah. We can only assume that Rollins will probably be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Probably until whenever.
Yeah. As long as he stays healthy and keeps doing what he's doing, I don't see that changing.
One bit.
He deserves it, and hopefully Kofi keeps it up too. Because I'd like to see Kofi in the top 5.
I'd like to see him really, get to that number 1 spot. Would be really fun. It would be awesome to see.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Before we get off the top 10, is there anybody that you think should or maybe if you could predict the future, who would you like to see?
And
you don't have to do a full 10. Just give me a couple guys you'd like to see in the top 10 next year.
Top 10 next year.
Based on what's been happening lately.
I think top 10 next year, you're going to see Cody Rhodes in there.
Yeah.
Because of what he's doing with AEW.
Yep.
I think
that's true. AEW is going to open a whole new door of possibilities for the top 10 because now we're going to have more champions. We're going to have more title defenses.
I also think, I don't know what they're going to do because I think there's a lot of injury news surfacing is Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
I think he's... I know. I think they're going to use him the way WWE should have, or maybe...
Try to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't have, I don't know.
I think Jericho.
Jericho could.
I really do.
Could, because I heard he's facing Heyman.
Yep.
So
who I also think could be a possibility.
He could be, so there's definitely a lot of names that can definitely break into the top 10.
What do you think about Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens, man, I love him.
Top 10?
Yeah.
I like what he's been doing with Shane.
Yeah.
And if he keeps the momentum going throughout the year, depending on who he gets in there with, I think it's a possibility. And I think Sami Zayn too.
Yeah. Sami Zayn, I think, he's on fire. He's incredible.
He's never been better.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And I'm not talking about his in-ring work. I'm talking Sami Zayn as the character Sami Zayn.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I really enjoy his heel abilities. He is, when you look at him, he's the ultimate underdog type of character, but, he's broken out of that. He's no longer that dude.
For sure.
And he is now becoming this, you want to hate him so much.
Yeah. But he also tells the truth.
He does.
Because a lot of the stuff that he says about wrestling fans, I'm agreed.
Yeah. He's just airing out what everybody else is afraid to say.
Yeah. And I don't feel like it's anything other than his own thoughts.
Yeah.
I really,
it just, again, it sounds organic.
Yeah.
And I love fresh feels like that where where it just feels right.
And I'll go on a limb here and say that I think Penta will be in the top 10.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't really have too many predictions. I hope that Kofi and Seth stay in it. I hope it's a good year for them both.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I'm open to the idea of 8 different people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's also healthy too for the wrestling business, where you see just different names kind of taking the realm, and
AEW will shake things up.
AEW definitely will, and I think also
more exposure means more opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
and once NXT I think goes on to USA Network,
that's true too.
They're gonna be more exposed.
Yeah, maybe we'll even see Velveteen Dream.
Break in. Top 10,
I'm not sure what's going on with Leo Rush at the moment, but
I'd like to see Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole for sure.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Adam Cole fan.
Too.
I've been since Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. But before we wrap up the podcast in general, we got to give some shout outs to some of the good brothers who made the cut. I'm not going to go ahead and mention their numbers, but just guys that we know that are out there doing their thing, making it work. Mark Wheeler's on the list. Puff is on the list. Anthony Gaines is on the list. Carter Mason, RJ City, Sean Carr, Tyson Dukes, Bill Collier. Just a few of the good brothers. I'm sure I missed a few. Jock Sampson. But there's a bunch of them out there that we know that made the top 500. So congratulations to all of you. Hopefully you just keep climbing the ranks year after year, and we'll see you guys in the top 10 sometime. So before we go, I just want to remind all the listeners to check out the link in the description of this show for Insane Labs. Marcus, you use Insane Labs. Yeah. You're the first person I've had on the show that uses Insane Labs, that purchases through me. You could attest to how well it works.
I love it. I absolutely do. I love it.
I don't think there's a pre-workout out there that compares to anything that they have.
Yeah, I could agree.
So I'm asking the listeners, check it out. Markus Midnight checked it out. Gabriel Soul / Cyclone Jones / Ish Jones / the Maryland Superstar checked it out. Mad Dog checked it out, who was texting me during this podcast. Don't ever interrupt me again, Mad Dog, when I'm with my former partner.
The partner that he likes better.
The natural Nick Sullivan is using Insane Labs. So the list goes on of guys who are buying these Insane Labs, and I've honestly never looked better or felt better or felt stronger. So check out that link. RVegas 30 will save you 50%. You have no reason not to try these, especially
it's 50%.
They're buy one get one free,
and
you use 50% on top of that. You got a 2-month supply for half the price of one.
Right, you're paying chump change for good quality.
Yeah, that'll last you for a few months.
Supplements, yeah.
You get a solid pump. You'll look better. You'll feel better. You won't feel as drained.
Yep.
You'll actually want to work out even when you don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm. And they have really cool like names for their.
They do. Everything's super horror movie based.
Yeah, I really like.
I love the Insane Veins. Gives you a nice pump. It's got the picture of Jason Voorhees on the cover. Yeah. So for horror movie nuts, which some of you are because this podcast deals with that too, check it out. Whether you're a gym rat, a wrestler, you're just trying to get in better shape. And of course, earlier we talked about Unchained Muscle. Our Vegas 20 saves you 20% on your order with Insane Muscle as well. Support the people that support us, or this podcast will not be able to continue. And if you're liking the podcast, rate it, subscribe to it, leave us comments, tell us what you like, interact with us. If there's guests that you want back, let us know. So thank you, man. I appreciate you going through the top 10 and then some.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really dug into that. We were thinking that was going to be about 30 minutes, and we're closing in on an hour.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we
really got we can talk wrestling and music and everything else for days. So
and of course, we did talk about AEW going on TV with NXT and all that stuff too. Yeah. So digging in. We did take a poll though, and the listeners did say that they wanted to hear more about wrestling. So
cool.
Here's your more about wrestling, and we'll see you next time on All Bets Are Off. Thanks, man.
No problem. Thank you.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Do you like sports, interactive polls, friendly banter from two guys that probably shouldn't even be on the microphone doing this stuff anyways? Well, if you do, then you're in luck. Us two knuckleheads, Brandon and myself, comprise the Listen In Podcast. That's right, Listen In, the podcast. We're talking sports, we're talking news, we're talking topical things, we're talking all sorts of things, my babies, and you are all invited to listen in right here on the Gear Radio Network.